The long-awaited reunion of IU and Byeon Woo-seok has finally happened. After years of waiting since Scarlet Heart, the chemistry we have been craving is back on screen. But the big question is, do they still have that magic? Or has their spark faded over the years? Today, we are breaking down the first four episodes of their new modern monarchy drama, Perfect Crown, a modern throne. The story takes us away to an alternate 21st century Korea where the monarchy still rules. Byeon Woo-seok plays the Prince Regent looking after the royal duties for his 8-year-old nephew until the boy comes of age. Naturally, the Queen Mother isn't thrilled about his power. On the other side of the tracks, though, the very expensive side, is IU as Sun Hui-ju, an illegitimate chaebol heiress determined to marry her way into a higher status. Through a series of unforeseen events, these two enter into a contract marriage. Will this business deal turn into a real royal romance? That's the heart of the story. World building, rules versus reality. Setting a story in an alternate reality Korea takes some getting used to. While the cinematography is breathtaking and the palace setup is stunning, the wish burning scene in episode 1 was absolutely surreal. The rules of this world feel a bit shaky. Sometimes it feels like the royal protocols are more like suggestions than laws. For example, in episode 4, the prince breaks major security protocols to visit public places with Hui-ju. He gives a quick explanation, but there are zero consequences. It feels less like a strict monarchy and more like a cautionary lifestyle. Then there's the security issue. In episode 2, we see Hui-ju essentially stalking the prince everywhere. This is one of the most powerful men in the country, and how is a random stranger able to just waltz in and go for a jog with him? It's a bit suspicious. Also, the power dynamics are a bit unconventional. Historically, a queen mother or the aunt would act as a regent, but here it's uncle. While we can chalk that up to creative license, the show assumes we already understand how the specific version of royalty works without explaining the stakes. If any of you have cracked the code on the royal succession rules, let me know in the comments. The characters. It's refreshing to see a green flag hero. The prince is clearly someone who endures personal pain for the royal good, especially for his nephew. It's a relatable dynamic. Many of us compromise our own happiness to keep the peace at home. However, beyond Usuik's portrayal feels a bit stiff at times. I get that. Royalty is supposed to be aloof, but even in private, his intentions with his nephew feel overly formal, like he's talking to a grown man. His expressions felt locked in the first couple of episodes, though I started seeing flashes of brilliance by episode 3 when the jealousy and concern started creeping in. Ayu, on the other hand, is excellent at swing Hui-ju. She's a fierce businesswoman, but we see her human side in episode 3 during that raw moment with her father and her subsequent ringing scene. It's clear her childhood trauma is what drives her to climb the royal ladder. Her acting is consistent, even when the script makes her actions feel a bit questionable. As for the supporting cast, Gong Seong-woo is killing it as a queen, and the young king is adorable. I'm a bit confused by the prime minister, though. If he's had a crush on Hui-ju in school, why wait decades to act on it? That is a very long game. Also, the two secretaries are great actors, but they are missing that iconic K-drama bestie vibe so far. They feel a bit forgettable in the grand scheme of the plot. The love story. The IU and Beyond Woo-seok reunion was a selling point of the show, but after 4 episodes, I'm feeling a bit lukewarm. The contract marriage is a classic trope, but it needs a rock solid reason to work in a modern setting, especially a royal one. The turning point where Hui-ju convinces the prince to marry her in episode 2 didn't quite land for me. We didn't see enough of her struggle as an illegitimate daughter until episode 3, so the stakes felt low initially. That said, things are heating up. The wall climbing scene and that shared bond in episode 3 were beautiful. But then we get that scenes that feel a bit forced. Hui-ju bonding with the entire palace staff overnight is hard to swallow. And that car chase in episode 4, total fiction. Can you imagine the King of England speeding down a freeway in a Lamborghini with zero security? It makes no sense. But hey, it looked cool, so I'll give them a pass on that one. Also, if the Queen's father had tampered with Huiju's car as implied on episode 4, does that mean he also started the palace fire that killed the previous king? If so, that would be a huge predictable outcome. I hope not. Looking ahead, what needs to change? As we move into the next episodes, I'm hoping for genuine intimacy, less forced romance tropes, and more heart to heart conversations, mystery. The story has been a bit predictable so far. I want to see more about the mystery behind the fire. Professional stakes. Since Huiju can't run a business while being a royal, I'm curious to see if the prince will eventually relinquish the regency or if they'll find a loophole. The big question: do you guys think the story would have benefited from a standard 16-minute build up, or is the current pacing working for you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more recaps and rants.